And I'm sitting there going, this is insane. Jay-Z, yeah. I'm like, this is so insane. This is like Aretha Franklin, you know, Michael McDonald, Quincy Jones. I'm like, this is that generation of what's going on. And it was, I think at that point, that was like, this is going to be monstrous.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm sure you're asked a lot about solo on Spaceship. So could you like talk a little bit about that and like how that happened?
That happened. Spaceship Coupe was one day I was supposed to go in the Studio B and work with Rob Knox on some stuff. I saw Justin in the hallway, like walking past me. He's like, "Hey man, come here for a sec." We walked in there. He's like, "Here's like 8 bars. I need you just to print solo this thing out, you know." And I literally had I had never heard the song. I didn't even get to hear the whole song, so I had no idea in what context the solo was going to be. I grabbed a Stratocaster, which I barely ever play, put it on some crazy patch that I had, opened the wah full, and I did it in one take, which is Justin's favorite. When I worked with Freesaw, I did a solo in the first take. He's really about the first take. There's something really magical about that. And I didn't really know how long it was, so I punched the very last note, which is just a high squeal, and then there's one in the middle where he wanted to drop everything out, that I just punched that. But the whole thing was so sloppily done and so like, that he was like, that's it. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm like, no, man, let me do it again. He's like, no. I'm like, seriously, man, give me a couple takes and then you can pick which one, because I can smash that. He's like, you're missing the point. I don't want you to technically fix this. He's like, this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Okay. So I know that like a lot of crazy stuff has been happening this year. You know, going to the Grammys and being on SNL. Do you have any like standout moments that you just like realize like, wow, this is it?
Yeah. We did a club show in London after the Brit Awards, and it was, the band at this point had just gotten so tight, and these people were just absolutely, it was 1,000 people, that's all it was, absolutely crazy. And we had a crazy day going from the Brits, traveling an hour and a half to the club, sound checking there, going back to the Brits, doing the show, going back to the club. It was just hectic. And then the next morning we had to go to Austria and Germany and do like some TV stuff. And I think at that club show, we waited and we didn't go until like almost midnight. And just the power of the lights and everything, I was just like, that was, for me, I was like, this is insane, being in a 15-piece band and, you know, everybody's just clicking. It was so amazingly tight. That, and then I would say a really cool moment was after SNL at the after party. I was at the bar, and it was Dan Aykroyd, Steve Martin, and Steve Martin, Dan Aykroyd, and Martin Short.
Yeah, okay.
And just seeing those guys, like having a cocktail right next to them and seeing how they cut up after all these years and are still so close and still like best friends. I don't know, just kind of just being right there next to them, I was like, okay, this is for real.
Yeah. So how has your life changed, like your personal life, since you've just been doing this? Have you noticed like people treating you differently or anything like that from back
Not really.
home?
I mean, my Memphis people I'm real close with, so it's like, as soon as I could talk about the situation, I was able to open up and talk about it with them. And I think most people were happy. You know, there's going to be some people who are, there's the Memphis haters, you know, those, but, you know, for the most part, nothing's changed other than I'm never here.
Yeah.
You know.
So how have your feelings about the industry changed? Because I guess after Free Soul, you're kind of down on it, but how do you feel about it now?
I really like working for artists. I think after that whole experience, I don't really want to be an artist anymore, you know, like for myself. I mean, I'll always write music, and I always do my own thing and have my own side projects just for my personal fulfillment. But it's really hard to sign with a label and put yourself out there like that, you know, exactly what you want to say to somebody through your music or through interviews or however you want to relay, you know, what your message. And I think dealing with these labels that are ever changing, too, it's hard to nail down how you're going to be treated. And, you know, even the big boys, when they get a hit, you know, if they don't keep them coming, they're axed, you know. And, you know, with the internet and everything changing, I really like working for artists and like somebody like Justin, who's, you know, is very established. It's easy. I don't have to worry about much, You know, I just show up and make sure I'm on and do my job and
Yeah.
have a blast. You know, so I could see from down the road, you know, working in a production house with some of these guys.
Yeah.
You know, maybe go work with Timberland and Jerome or any of these good producers just as a writer, and then tour when I can. You know.
So what have you learned from watching people up close, like Timberlake and Timbaland, like watching them work? What's some of the stuff you've learned about music?
Well, I've learned that those guys are aliens. They are extremely talented, and anybody who wants to say that they're not, they don't know. They've never seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I see Timberland work and Justin work, and they're completely opposite. They're rarely in the studio together.